What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. It is that time of the week again, your match preview for one of the biggest fixtures of the season if you're a Liverpool fan, Manchester United versus Liverpool. It is away, of course, at Old Trafford. A new away kit, a new season, and so we got new colours for the video. Match day 3 of 38, 4 p.m. kickoff this Sunday. We'll kick things off with a little look at the recent head-to-heads. Liverpool have lost only one of their last 12 meetings with Manchester United in the Premier League, which includes 5 draws and 6 wins. So again, it's overwhelmingly positive for Liverpool. The loss, however, that one loss in 12 meetings did come at Old Trafford in the 22-23 season. It was a 2-1 win for Manchester United. So they'll take some positive from that, I suppose. But this is Liverpool's only loss in their last 6 visits to Old Trafford. So once again, overwhelmingly positive for Liverpool, and certainly we should be going into this game with zero apprehension and, you know, the positive outlook that we're going to win this game. In terms of Liverpool's current season so far, obviously, you know, we're only 3 games in, but Liverpool are yet to concede a goal this season and have also registered the most shots of any team so far. That's 37 shots, with the highest XG in the entire league and also the lowest XG against in the entire league. So, I mean, they're amazing stats. Again, we're only 3 games in, but we are the most threatening team and the least threatened team. These are great stats that if we can keep up throughout the season, it's going to put us in very good stead. It's, you know, I'm not saying we're going to go undefeated, but based off those stats alone, we're difficult to break down, but we're also a really big threat going forwards. And this is something that Arne Slot brought in with his new way of playing, the real focus on that slow build-up, the passing through the lines, all of that kind of thing, and then you turn on that Jurgen Klopp sort of counter-attack when it's needed as well. We saw that against Brentford and how effective it's been, and really this style of Arne Slot's football, it's very different from what we saw from Jurgen Klopp, but you can also see that it's very effective, and maybe it is the key to breaking down these more defensive teams. We'll find out as the season goes on, but so far the stats are looking very, very good. And speaking of Arne Slot, the 2 Dutch managers, that is Arne Slot and Ten Hag, met 4 times during their time in the Eredivisie and remain locked at a 2-2 draw. In terms of, Slot got the best of Ten Hag twice and Ten Hag got the best of Slot twice as well. So Sunday's game sees them face off in the Premier League for the first time. Overall, it's their 5th face off, and it gives one of them the opportunity to move ahead in that head-to-head race there. Now, I know that managers don't put too much on that, but it's a nice little stat there for the fans and an opportunity for us to get even more bragging rights than just winning away at Old Trafford. In terms of current form, obviously Liverpool remain unbeaten and we've also not conceded a goal yet, whilst United continue the struggles of last season. I think it's fair to say, having picked up a loss on the road last week to Brighton. So obviously United will be looking to bounce back, but I actually think there's more in this game than just that. I think this game represents something quite huge for both teams. On the one hand, for Liverpool, I think it's the opportunity to go to Old Trafford, beat United and say to the rest of the Premier League, we're still here. Despite Jurgen Klopp leaving, despite being in this new era of Arne Slot's football, we are still here. We are still a massive threat for the Premier League. And then for Manchester United, I think it's the opportunity to, again, it's a real statement game. Liverpool, if they beat Liverpool, they can kind of send that message to the rest of the league that we're back. Manchester United of old is potentially back. And so I think this game represents something bigger than just Liverpool versus United for both teams. So speaking of the teams, let's get into our team selection for the game. As always, we'll start with the goalkeeper. Obviously, it's Alisson Becker. Interestingly, Nottingham Forest put in a late bid for Caoimhin Kelleher, which was rejected by the club. But I say it's interesting just because obviously they still want Kelleher around. Maybe there is some opportunities for him coming up in cup games and stuff like that. But of course, Alisson Becker starts in the Premier League. I'll do the back line all together because there's no changes here from last week. El Capitan, Virgil van Dijk starts. Ibrahim Konate I've put in as well because despite, like, I don't have any issues with Joel Kwanzaa. I think he's a great player, but this is an absolutely huge game and we did see some struggles from Joel Kwanzaa in, most notably actually, the Sevilla game for me pre-season. So Konate has to start. I think it's as simple as that. It's just too big a game not to go all out. Trent Alexander-Arnold, that means on the right-hand side there, seemed to be a little bit upset to be taken off in the 80th minute of the Brentford game. Now, that's interesting because we played 80 minutes. I don't think there's any real excuse to be getting upset, but maybe it's something to do with the fact that he's only ever really known Jurgen Klopp and it's just a little bit of a different dynamic with Arne Slot. I don't know. I mean, look, I don't want to be intentionally upsetting him when we're waiting for him to sign that contract extension, but He would be starting anyway, let's be honest. It's Liverpool versus Manchester United at Old Trafford. We need to be going as strong as possible, like I said. And if anything, I think he took him off at that 80th minute because the game was won and it's time to rest him with a view towards this Manchester United game, which is a massive game for Arne Slot. Don't forget how important it is for him to get off to a good start with the fans, and beating Manchester United away at Old Trafford is one way to do that. Now, on the other side, I've got Andrew Robertson. Again, he started in the last game. It's likely to be the same team that we see from Arne Slot again. I actually put Kostas Tsimikas in for the last game, but he did start Robbo, and I think Robbo had a fantastic game. I think he made up for all those shortcomings previously, why I left him out. So if we can get Robbo back to a good form, then that's fine by me. And I don't think he put a foot wrong in order to take him out of the team for this game. So I'm starting Andrew Robertson there as well. Defensive mids, it has to be Alexis McAllister, who will become a mainstay throughout, I think, Arne Slot's reign at Liverpool. And then I'm going Ryan Gravenberch, who, again, he hasn't put a foot wrong yet this season, starting in this new sort of defensive position. But what I will say is I think this is an absolutely massive game for him with respect to Ipswich and Brentford. This is Manchester United at Old Trafford, and I think if we're going to see any sort of nervousness or any sort of shortcomings of Ryan Gravenberch in this new position, I think we're going to see it in this game. So it's an absolutely massive game for Gravenberch. If he performs well in this game, then I'll hold my hands up and say, okay, we maybe have someone here who can run this position for the rest of the season after the sort of disappointment there of missing out on Zubamendi. But again, this is all, it's huge pressure on Ryan Gravenberch because it's a massive game, so let's see if he can come through it. Advanced midfield, I'm going Dominic Szoboszlai. Again, I just don't see any reason to change that. We don't have too many options. You've got maybe Curtis Jones and you've got Harvey Elliott. I don't think Szoboszlai has been particularly bad in any of the games, so I don't see any reason to change it. And for the two attacking wingers, we're of course going Mohamed Salah and Luis Diaz. Now, we finally have some rotation for Mohamed Salah in the form of Federico Chiesa, who is now at the club, and he will be available to play in this United game, but of course it's far too early, and he's not going to displace Mohamed Salah in the starting lineup. He's going to be a great option for rotation in cup games, coming off the bench and things like that. But I think his is a more of a long-term view, and I think his expectations in this team are going to be very grounded because it is Mohamed Salah, one of the greatest players in world football at the moment. So he's going to know that he's not going to come in and displace that. So I think it's a great move for Liverpool. I think it's a great move for him, and I don't think he's going to upset the apple cart too much in terms of wanting to be starting every game because it's Mohamed Salah he's fighting for a place with. So Mo's definitely going to start this game. It's far too early for Chiesa, and I'm going Luis Diaz on the left because I don't think he's done enough wrong to take him out of the team. But I am very surprised that Cody Gakpo's not getting the start here on the left, just with the Dutch connection, how well he did the Euros. It does shock me, actually. He's just getting a little bit of time off the bench lately. And, if he can put in a good performance off the bench, I'm sure he can steal and wrestle that spot away from Luis Diaz, who I do think is a little lackluster with his final ball at times. But he hasn't done enough wrong to take him out the team, so we're sticking with Luis Diaz. And then finally, in that strike position, I'm going Diogo Jota. Again, Darwin Núñez just hasn't had enough time. He's only played 18 minutes in the entire Premier League campaign so far, so I don't think there's any way he's going to start this game, just based on the fact that he hasn't had enough game time to be starting a game as big as Manchester United at Old Trafford. But I want to stress that I want to see Darwin Núñez get more time. I'd love to see him get like half an hour in this game. 18 minutes is not enough, and I genuinely do believe that we can build a team around Darwin Núñez. I think he's got so much to offer, but it's not going to be in this game because he just hasn't played enough. I need to see him getting more time off that bench from Arne Slot, more opportunities, hopefully in some of the games coming up, to really show what he can do. So that'll do us for our team selection, and we can close the video out with my score prediction. If you look down there, as always, we've got the Opta stats. Manchester United, 26% win percentage, a draw at 22%, and Liverpool at 52%. So thankfully it is dominant Liverpool, but there is a solid chance of a draw. There's about as much chance of a draw as there is of a Manchester United win, which I guess is very promising for Liverpool. And based on those Opta statistics and based on my selection for this week's Super 6, I am going with a Liverpool win, and I'm going to actually go Liverpool 2, Manchester United 0. Remember, Liverpool are yet to concede the goal in this Premier League campaign, but it's not just luck based. We also have the lowest XG against out of any team in the Premier League, and we have the highest XG of any Premier League team so far this season. So based on those statistics, I think it's going to be hard to break Liverpool down. Yes, it is Old Trafford. The atmosphere is going to be crazy because it's United versus Liverpool, but I'm going to back Arne Slot. I'm going to go Liverpool 2, Manchester United 0. As always, guys, get your score predictions down in the comments below. Let me know what you think of my team selection as well, and if you'd make any changes. And thank you very much for watching this video. Get your subscriptions in if you're not subscribed already. Give the video a like if you do enjoy the content, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.